Okay. Hello.
Hey, Mario. Hi.
Did you go to South Central?
Did I go to what?
Did you go to South Central to check on that video?
No. I think it was fake
I
because
think, but
people looked on at his website. He didn't have that video on his website, so it was fake. The AI, looks great.
but the words and everything, it was nice rap.
I know it was very nice. Yeah, it's crazy what this AI can do. I didn't see anything online about it. I don't know.
Well, I send it to Icho, so Icho will send it all over the world now.
Oh, now we'll find out. Let's see here, Pro. No.
Well, maybe he's doing it in secret, only for Jews, so he doesn't have
Yeah,
a
that's
problem.
right. That's exactly right.
Hmm. So how did you get it?
My son sent it to me. My
Oh,
son-in-law got it from somebody in New York. So who knows? Maybe that guy even made it. Who knows? I guess once you know how to use the AI, it's not hard to do.
well, I don't know because they, well, I suppose anything is possible with that thing.
Right.
Scary also.
Very, very.
I wonder when he wants to do the shit tomorrow, because tomorrow is Surah also.
Oh, right. Yes. Right.
And if he wants to do it at 9, he can do it and I won't be there. By 9 o'clock, I'm done.
Oh, for sure.
Where is he now? He wants to go to
Yeah, to the event.
the event, the Eula, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now today in the news from Israel, they say that the UN
Yeah.
reduced the amount of dead people from the Palestinians, like
Right.
50, like
So if
so,
they're lying on that, they lie on everything. Everything is baloney.
yeah. I mean,
Everything is crazy.
they said that 70% of the casualties are women and children, and somebody
How could that
wrote it's
be?
almost impossible. It's
Right.
impossible unless Israel is targeting women and children.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to claim, but it's not true.
Okay, let me see it.
Hi, Ernie.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Before you start tomorrow, Surah at 8, huh?
Surah's 8. Let's do the daf like at 6:45.
Okay.
So people can get to Mincha in time.
Yeah, it's not very long, the next class.
We are on Ayin Dalit 74. Amarava. Hani Blake class of the Avizud L'chad Lemizben Lumidi. 3 people gave one guy money to buy them things. V'zovan L'chad Minayu. Now, if they all gave him the money as one group, and he bought something for one person, they all divided. However, that's when they didn't bundle their money singularly and sign it in an individual way. They gave it all together. However, if each gave his own money, sealed, signed, so Laman Zoven, when he used one person's money to buy something that was bought for that guy, Laman de Lozoven, Amrav Papa Papa, Hi Situma Kanya. When the guy would go buy barrels of wine, he would say, okay, mark this barrel, I'm going to buy this, even though he didn't pay for it. Now, it's like a Kenyan. But only the klala of whoever doesn't, like, remember we learned if you pay money, remember money is normally not coin, and if he doesn't agree to sell it to you, he has a klala of mishapara. Same thing here. It's not a full Kenyan, it's just a mishapara. The halacha is not a full Kenyan.
What is Mishapara?
The mishapara is the curse. If you give somebody money,
Yes.
and he doesn't fulfill the deal, he has a curse of mishapara. If it was local custom that putting a mark on an item was enough for a Kenyan. Then the Mishnah said, if he was one of the early harvesters, he can make a deal with him, give him money up front. If the schor is ready to be given over. If there are 3 activities that have to be done to finish and complete the item, poisek, you can already buy it. If it's mechusar shalosh, ain't a poisek. If you need 3 steps, it's not finished yet. And then if you pay too early, it'll be a ribis problem. Mulamar, if there are human actions to be done to finish it, even if there are 100 activities, you can already pre-purchase. But bidei shamayim, if something has to happen through heavenly means, even if it's missing only one heavenly thing, ain't a posek. It's not. Posekim ola godish. We said you want to buy standing grain. Yeah, but until you make wheat seeds that could be used for a mill, Mechusar mashta be'emel miyavesh. You have to let the grain dry up in the sun. Lemedish lemadra, to thresh it and to throw it in the wind to separate the chaff. That's 3 malachos. And yet we say you can be poisek to kashan rav. More answers go to shana b'chama v'yosh. It was already dried, so it was only missing 2. Now, Shmuel b'dei shemam filachas in a posek vas v'amachusar midra. Here, you need the wind. You throw it in the wind, and the wind sort of separates the chaff from the wheat, and it's b'dei shemayim. How can you be poisek? Efshar b'nefiyusa, because you don't have to use the wind. You can use a sieve. There's like an implement that does it. So it's not considered b'dei shemayim. Poisek ala ovid shel hanavim. We said if the grapes are already in a big vat, you can already pre-purchase. Aiva mechusar michmar. It has to heat up. V'yula lebe matzrasa. It has to be put into the gut, into the press area. Ulamedish. Then you have to stomp it like Lucy in I Love Lucy. Ulamingit, and then to sort of drain it off from the press to the bore, the pit where they stored the wine. So Kedatan Rav Chia ala commercial zaysim. This was grapes. Achanami commercial anovim, which were already heated up. Aiva mechusar tzlas. They're still missing 3 things. So ba'asa du zavinu the nugget. This was in a locale where the person who bought it would do the final step. So there's only two malachos. Balamatan shel zaysim, the press of olives. I'm mahosr michmar v'yula lebeit tapi lemedish lemingit. You haven't heated it up. You haven't pressed it. You haven't sort of moved the shemen to the pit. Al commercial zaysim, it's already heated up. But there's another 3 activities. It was a locale where the person who bought it who did the final step, so there's only 2 steps left. Then we said beitzim shel yoitzer. These were the early clay pots. Now, amai, why is it mutter? You have to turn it on the wheel, and then yivushi, you have to dry it. You have to put it into the misrif, you have to put it into the kiln to heat it up, and then lamefik to take it out. It's multiple steps. It was already dried and circled. There's 3 remaining. But Asra, who's the Zavinu Demafik, the one who bought it, completes the process. The lime had to be cooked in the furnace. It has to be burned, you have to remove it, and then you have to grind it. So this was a community, wherever bought it would finish this job. According to Shmuel, who said you can prepay it even if there's 100 human steps. Why do you have to put it into the furnace? It's one of the malachos that are bidei adam. It was ready to go into the kivshon. Torabanu. In poiskim al beisim shel yoitzer ad shiyasu. You have to be finished making these clay items. We're talking about white clay because it's highest quality. With dark clay, you can do it right away. Why? This clay was more commonly available because it's cheaper. So it was available. You don't have to worry about ribbis. He would prepay from the time that they would start loading the clay into his house. That means it was cash on delivery. He wouldn't prepay until it was delivered to his house. Kiman Krav Meir, because he felt that the kelim had to be finished. Because Rabbi Yosef says it doesn't have to come into your house as long as somebody else has it. In Amema there was no clay at all. Even the cheap clay wasn't available. If they delivered clay, he had in mind to buy it and he would give money. He wouldn't, unless it was cash on delivery, he wouldn't give cash. Then the Mishnah said, you could pre-buy fertilizer. Rabbi Yosef said it had to gather up in a compost heap, and the Chachamim matir. So Chachamim and Tanakama. What's the difference with Tanakama? Arava Yimasak Shanim Iki Binai. That's like the Tanakama. It's all year, including winter. According to Chachamim, doesn't include winter because there wasn't a lot of zevel available at that time. You can establish a price, but you have to say if it gets cheaper, I'm gonna pay even the cheapest price. A man gave a certain amount of money for the nadin, and the groom made him the shaliach to buy jewelry. L'sov zal nedunya. The value of the money went down, or the value of the gifts that he bought went down, and he wanted to go back on the deal. Also, my Rav Papa, Amrlei, you can get it for the cheaper price if you made the t'nai when you first bought it for the shar gavoa, which is the cheapest price. Otherwise, you have to stay with the same prices that initially you established. Rav Papa, the elo posuk shakal kimikara. If you didn't make the t'nai, you'd have to live with the deal. Most ninu, he gave money. Umos bilvad loikana. You're not coin an object unless you do hagbah or mashicha. The money isn't coin. I agree. It's not a full kinyan. I mean, nami lekabula daita mishapar coming. I'm talking about again whether the guy enters the deal and doesn't complete it, whether he's going to be cursed with the mishapara. So ipasa kashar gavoa. So if they made the t'nai originally, so the buyer has the upper hand, and the moicha is kohader bay, and so the seller is going back on the deal. He wants the higher price, but he has to sell it at the cheaper price. And if he doesn't, the moicha gets the klala. And he lo posak, if they didn't make the deal for the cheapest price, lo kech kohader bay, and the buyer wants to go back on the deal and pay less, he gets the mishapar. Amrlo Ravina Rav Papa. Umimai Drabonani, the pligalid Rab Shimon. Why are you holding like Rab Shimon who argues with the Chachamim? The Amri, Moslo Konu, that money doesn't acquire. Vafilu Hachi, and even so, Ipasa Kashar Gavoa, if they made the deal that he gets the cheapest price, Shakal Kahashta, he's still stuck, and he has to, or no, he gets to buy at the cheapest price. Ilo pasuk shakal mikara. He has to live with his original deal. Maybe Dilma Rab Shimoni. Maybe it's not like the Chachamim who hold Mois, so it's not koine. Rab Shimon holds Mo's konos, so it's a kinyan gomer, and it's clear v'chi pasuk kishar gavor shakal kihashta. He gets the cheapest price. Ilo pasuk shakal mikara, but not because of any special rule, Mishum Dekaril Azusi. He acquired it initially with his money. But the Rabbanon who holds most Einan coins, Bain Pasuk, Bain Lo Pasuk, Shalki Yashta. whether he made it or not, he should be able to buy at the cheapest price. The daita the inisha Torah. Everyone's mind is on the cheapest price. So there's no proof that we have to go after Chachamim. Maybe Reb Shimon, when there's one time of market price and there's no change, then even Reb Shimon will hold money can acquire. But betray Torah miyamar, there were certain, I guess, items that would have two different times of having a market price, one lower than the other. So he would agree that he could go back on the deal that he gave originally if the price changed. Deal temahachi. If according to Rav Shimon, he could go back, then Misha Par Belokech Rav Shimon Leslie. There would never be a situation where the consumer would be stuck with the klal of the Misha Para, because once he gave the money, he can't have regret. Maybe you'll tell me, yeah. The buyer never gets the Misha Para Vatanya. And what does that mean? The Mishapor goes on both, the buyer and the seller. Mekabel Mishapor. So Kikom Rav Shimon B'chatara. Rav Shimon said that money acquires an object when there's only one market, when there's only one time when there's a market price. Betray Tori Lo Amar. When there are two times of a market price, and the shard changes, he wouldn't say that Moses comes. Amar Rav Acha Breda Rav Ashi. The Tepa Klei de Shaliach Shavi Meikara. Why did you make a simple answer? He was made a Shaliach. The Chasam was a Shaliach. The one who sent him could say, I didn't send you to do a bad deal. I sent you to do a good deal. We can mavatal the deal. Amar Lei. He wasn't a shaliach, but Tagrid is Avinu Mazbid. This was a merchant who buys and sells. And he knows that there might have to be a cheaper price at a different time. Ma'avodim hasaris of chitin bechitin. Person has a sharecropper working in his field. He can loan him grain, for grain to be paid back later, for zera, right? Because they need the seeds to plant. Then when they harvest, the sharecropper will give him back more. Because he loaned him some at the start of the season. That would not be ribis. That's for planting. Avalola echol. There we said saw b'saw doesn't work because that which he returns later could be worth more money and it looks like ribis. Now, why did they have to say this did? Shai Rav Galil Mavis Aris Chitin Bechit Lazera. Rav Galil would do this. Even B'Yoker V'Huzo B'Zovel Okru, they were expensive, they got cheaper, they were cheaper, they got expensive. He would always noitel behen kishar gazol. He would always take the lowest hand. Means he would always work off the cheapest price. Not because the halacha is like that. He wanted to be machmir financially on himself. You can give him 2 bushels of wheat, you'll give him back to you at the end, if the wheat was going to be used for seeding. If all of this was done before the sharecropper actually went into the field to start working. If he started working, it's prohibited. Now, my Shotani did on the locomotive. Our Tana didn't make a difference between when you can do this deal. You could do this deal whether the sharecropper started working or not. Ben Yord Vein Loret. Umayshna Tana brother come off like, why does this Tana argue? Ben Yord Vein Loret. Amarava, Rav Idi Asber Nearly. Rav Idi explained it in the following way. Our Mishnah, the sharecroppers would normally provide their own seed. So then Ben Yord Vein Lored, as long as the sharecropper hasn't already put seeds into the ground, The guy who's renting the field to the sharecropper can get rid of him and use another one. And when the owner of the field gives the sharecropper the seeds, he's basically agreeing to the deal, and that's it. When he goes into the field to start working, he knows he's going to get a certain amount of produce back for what he gave him. Now, Ba'asr, the Ton of Bra, Mari Arya of Bizra. The Baraisa was the owner of the field would provide the seeds. Ilo Yard the Matzimasikle. And the owner can get rid of him before he goes down into the field. But once he gave him the seeds, and once he gives him the seeds, that's what he's going to work in once he goes into the field. But once the sharecropper's in the field, he can't get rid of him. Usher. He's now accepted to go into the field and work it without receiving seeds. So it's like a loan, and that's why he says it's prohibited, because later on when he gives it back with more, it'll look like ribbons. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn 6:45. We're going to finish Ezeo Neshech, God willing. And then we'll learn the Tzur at 8 o'clock.
Bye, honey.